And greetings.
Greetings, Wonders.
Greetings, Maggie.
Would you please go to whom, to where, and to when you are directed? Would you please locate your coordinator, Maggie McGuffin Cadet, on November 3rd, 2001?
Yes, we have you.
We are gathered here at 8361 11th Line, RR number 2, in the town of Thornton, in the province of Ontario, to do a general session for the A Trip to Interdimensionality workshop group entitled Why Incarnation? Would you please begin?
In this particular workshop, dear friends, you will explore interdimensionality from different perspectives. It is designed to broaden and expand your perspectives of self, to give you an awareness similar to that which exists presently, but expanded into the beingness of self. This workshop is a necessary step to the next one, and the one after that, we assure you. So greetings. It is with joy and excitement and pleasure from your perspectives that we greet you, that we bring you into this moment of time and space in order to share with you that which you are. For that which you are is that which we are, and that which we are is that which you are. And so, dear friends, let us move. Proceed. Get going. And giddy up, so to speak. Now, the title of this particular session is rather appropriate. For oftentimes individuals wonder why it is that we incarnate. Why would you choose? Why would you make the choice to incarnate? After all, your life sucks, doesn't it? Life is not a pleasurable existence. Some of you have experienced pain, sorrow. Some of you have experienced repetitive moments, circumstances that have harmed you from your perceptions. Some of you have experienced joy and pleasure. And so you wonder, why choose to reincarnate? Why choose the concept of incarnation in itself? Why would existence create the conceptualization of incarnation? All of these questions are, in effect, rather simple to answer. The answer is, why not? You see, dear friends, incarnation is simply a methodology, a perception that you as ego personalities choose to create for yourselves in order to justify to yourselves the fact that you exist. Now, yes, you see yourselves as physical beings, and we've gone to great lengths to explain and to share with you that perception. And you perceive yourselves through judgment and define yourselves as physical, and so you see yourselves in a physical body. But in truth, as we suggested many times, the physicality is nothing more than an illusion through perception. Now, it's difficult for you to appreciate that, we understand, because when you are caught up with the perception, how can you step outside of it in order to perceive differently? But rest assured, dear friends, that your physical body doesn't exist. It isn't real from the sense of energy. It is real from the sense of your perceptions, yes, but not from the perception of energy itself. And so, therefore, you needed a modality, term it a conceptualization, that would justify your being physical beings. For when you judged yourself originally, and we don't mean here the original sin that the Catholic Church likes to put on to people, when you judge yourself originally, when you came into this existence and you perceived yourself and used judgment to perceive yourselves, then at that point, dear friends, you perceived a physicality. And to justify that physicality, you created for yourselves a concept called incarnation. What does incarnation really mean? It means simply going within. In its most simplest of forms, that's what it means. Oh yes, your English language defines it differently. But we assure you, in its simplest of forms, incarnation means going within. So in truth, dear friends, when you reincarnate, you keep going within. Now, going within from the perception of energy means, in effect, going within the extension of the energy. And this is a concept, dear friends, that will shift and alter substantially your conceptualization of existence. We suggested previously that God as the all that is, extended itself into this existence. However, in your minds, the term extend created a movement outwards from the self. And you perceived within yourselves that the movement of energy was an outward movement, a broadening, an expanding, but outward. In truth, what God as the all that is did was it went within itself. By going within itself, it broadened and expanded its own perception of itself to the point that it perceived itself to the extent that you are today. So in truth, dear friends, when you incarnate or reincarnate, you are going within the self to broaden and expand the perception of self in order to experience differently, notice the word differently, the experience of existence. So from your perception of self, when you judged yourself originally, when you perceived yourself as an existence, as a physical entity, what you perceived as a point of incarnation was nothing more than a going within by soul essence in order to broaden and expand its own perspective of existence. Which is why, from one perspective, you have free will and free choice. Free will and free choice exists because of the going within aspect of the self. If you were broadening and expanding by going outside, moving away from the self, then, dear friends, there would not be the conceptualization of free will and free choice, for then there would be simply an expression of control. But by going within, an expression of command takes place. And so free will and free choice is created regardless of the perception within. And to a degree, this is what you yourselves are trying to achieve through your existence, through your own expansion and growth. If you will observe carefully when we've spoken to any of you at any time with regards to expansion and growth, we've suggested go within. Understand yourselves, appreciate yourselves, observe yourselves. All of these terms are used to describe the movement of consciousness, not from a perspective of outside, outward movement, but rather from a perspective of inward reflection. And in so doing, then, you would reconnect to the oneness that you are, which is God is the all that is. So incarnation and reincarnation exists in order to allow you the opportunity to go within, to appreciate yourselves so completely, so absolutely, that you experience within yourselves that point of oneness that moves you to a oneness with all of existence, and so as a result removes separation from the self. Now, you have models in your existence that bring you to that awareness consciously, and yet you still use certain perspective to move yourselves away from everything around you. Your psychological models explain certain aspects of the self, parts of the self, within the self, core beliefs, experiences, neurolinguistic programming, which defines the inner selves. Adler, a number of other psychologists and psychological perspectives, even philosophers have explored the going within in your existences. And still you perceive yourselves as separate from the oneness of God, God is the all that is.